Welcome to the Inside Integration Podcast. My name is Chris. I am joined, as always, by my partner, Jayson.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to 2025.
2025. We made it, fella. We
I,
made it.
I mean, we're in the future, right? It's amazing.
This is we're already past where Back to the Future told us we would be, right? 2015 was Back to the Future too, right? So we're 10 years
Yeah,
beyond. I mean, it's
I
been
try
great.
not to look at the movie clock as like my lifetime line because it's really jarring at how long ago that was.
It's true. It's
You know,
true.
it's personally offensive. So I try not to look at those release dates too much. It's like, oh
Oh,
yeah, you watch a classic like The Thing over Christmas break, and you're just like, man, Kurt Russell's a stud. And then you realize it was 1980 when that movie came out.
he still is a stud. All right.
I mean, he's still got all his hair. I mean, he was in Guardians of the Galaxy, Goldie Hawn. I mean,
Yeah,
the man
bro.
man has done well, right?
Absolutely. Well, yeah, welcome to the Kurt Russell episode of the Inside
Yeah, I
Integration
don't know how we started
Podcast.
off on that highway, but I'm down with Snake Plissken. So, and more Kurt Russell in 2025 is going to be
Great.
my New Year's my New Year's resolution.
Absolutely, absolutely, and yeah, while we're on it, we're gonna spend a little time today talking about CES, which Jayson is on his way to.
Right. So when this comes out, when this episode is released, it'll be kind of like the trailing end of a lot of the announcements and a lot of the stuff that'll have been shown at CES or the big conversation points. Hopefully, there's it's all technologically related press from Vegas and no other excitement related to current
Right.
headlines,
Yeah. There's.
whatever those may be.
I mean, there's so much there. It's not specifically relevant to CI and that kind of thing. You know, they
No.
they kind of channel all that stuff to where we're gonna see it, right? CEDIA and those kind of things. But I mean, it's still it's still worth going to. A lot of the big lines that we rep, Sony is going to be there, and Sony will be there, and there'll be quite a few of our partners that are there anyway. Especially the ones who kind of dabble in the regular, the non CI, just the
Right,
I,
yeah,
right?
commoditized electronics, right? Like the
Exactly.
pedestrian stuff. There's going to be the robot toaster
Yep.
that, butters the toast for you and flings your croissant across the room or whatever that Rube Goldberg type of goodness is going to be there. There'll be the endless arrays of portable speakers for quinceañeras
Yeah.
and for the portable dance floor audience. I mean, God, I have one of those boombox systems and like the light show on it's, circa 2016. They've gotten a lot better.
It's a good way when you break that one out and you bring it to the park for your kid's birthday party. It's a good thing to see if you've got epilepsy in your family because that will trigger an
Oh,
epileptic seizure.
it could definitely do that. Mine has the strobe lights on it too, so
There
like
you go.
I'm sure it's probably passed some UL testing somewhere, past some scrutiny, but you never know what a trigger is going to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward honestly to, it's kind of like being in the game. I was trying to actually position this for other, in my mind, I guess, if I was going to explain what CES was for other people. And unlike going to a sporting event or something like that where you pay a ticket to go as an audience attendee, this is kind of like being in the game, like being in the Super Bowl for the electronics industry, for lack of a better description. And maybe that's, being a little grandiose or whatever, but the idea that, it's industry only, it's restricted to a pretty narrow lane, depending on which vertical you're in, the types of things that are there for you. And it's all mashed together in a very American, very Vegas style, which is appeals to me. There's a layer, there's some part of my DNA that has a distinct layer of carny on it. I don't know if you ever picked up on that, but like I want to be like a carnival barker and get people to come into my tent and buy snake oil or see the freak show or whatever. So somewhere in the broader spectrum of what CES is, the carnival barker aspect of this event appeals to me immensely. So
Yeah.
I'm
It's
excited to go and see that as well.
it's just utter chaos. And that is a fun thing about it for sure. It is massage chairs, it's little tiny robot dogs, it's everything that you can all the latest vacuums. Like I got an alert today from some, Chinese vacuum company or whatever that like, now our vacuum has an arm on it. So great. That seems really,
Oh, it's
really
a huge
great.
update. I mean,
A
who ever
huge.
heard of a vacuum with arms? Come on,
I
bro.
mean, what can it do? Can it move the dog crap out of the way so it can vacuum where the dog crap was? Like what can this thing? Can it rear my children? Because that's fine. Like
Is
I'm
it
I'm
called
down.
Suck Armstrong? Like that's what I want to know. Like what's the branding behind this vacuum with an arm on it?
There's
Like,
there's a there's a suction and manipulation joke in here that I'm not going to
whoa,
touch.
I didn't make a joke like that at
No,
all. That was not
no.
an attempt.
But yeah. So and that's coming. You're Jason's going to give us the report on all the new
Yeah,
new
I'm
shiny
I'm gonna
things.
do my best to cobble together a little video montage of our time there, and certainly we'll talk about CES when I come back, and hopefully I'll have a voice. I won't have picked up the latest and greatest update from Wuhan or anything like that. Try to keep try to keep
Yeah,
healthy and stable and out of harm's way as much as possible. But
yeah. A lot of
yeah, for
zinc.
me,
Wear a face mask.
yeah, it'll be fine. I mean, it's honestly, I'm not too plussed about it. I've been to CES a million times. I only got sick one time really, and I missed Elton John as a result of it. So it kind of
Oh,
kind of bummed me out.
I'm
I
sure
don't
you're
think.
running to him again.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll happen. Where I could go for free and go to a private concert. That
Absolutely.
happens
No, not
all the
not a
time.
once in a
Sure,
lifetime thing.
that's
Definitely not.
that's not like he's retired from performing or anything like that. It's fine.
Right.
I had to pay hundreds of dollars to see him again with a zillion people, as opposed to free with about 5,000. So
Right.
it hasn't it
Right.
hasn't it hasn't stuck with me since that day. And I know Bill Janka, if he ever heard this story, would be laughing right now because he told me afterwards, he's like, I don't care if you're dead. You should be on this bench at this concert right now. So he wasn't wrong, but at the time I didn't feel like it was the right call. So
Yeah.
what can you do?
Hey, we get it. Other than that, I mean, we are. Yeah, it's like the calendar changed and the avalanche began. So we're
Right. It's a bunch of
working
new stuff for this year, right?
working a Seattle event, working on setting up some webinars for some of our new lines, working on all kinds of goodies coming down the pipe.
Travel into the markets, right? Like we're working on a Lightline tour right now, so we're trying to get out with Jayson Fuse and get into the market and show everybody kind of what the latest and greatest things are happening with Lightline, which is a pretty exciting lighting company from Canada.
Yeah.
My neck of the woods, maybe not specifically my neck of the woods, but it's always good to know that the folks back at home are up to industrious things and cooking up some cool stuff. So
There's something. I mean, somebody should do a study. There's something about socialized medicine that creates amazing lighting
no,
plans, right?
it's not that. It's all the hours of abject frozen time outside where you're in a warehouse or you're in a factory-sized building and you're like, what could we make in here? You know what? We could make some lighting fixtures. You know what? We could make some really killer lighting fixtures that
It's
are
dark
decently priced.
outside most of the year.
We need lights.
Right.
Let's get to it.
There you go.
And we say that with obviously with a lot of tongues and cheeks, but frankly, it's true. There's something to be said for that amount of time where you've got to fill it with something, and people get industrious. So countries like Canada, countries like Sweden,
There
countries
you
like
go.
that always cook up interesting homebrewed engineering or technology that maybe other people weren't looking at it the same way.
Absolutely. And yeah, so look forward for that tour. That's coming soon. Probably February, right? Is when you're looking.
Yeah, first week of February is what we're shooting for. It's what I'm looking for, planning for.
Yeah,
So
man.
if anybody that's in our dealer Rolodex wants to talk to us about Lightline, please reach out to us. But conversely, expect us to be reaching out to you. We want to get Jayson out in front of some of our partners that we think that can do well. And again, it's not one of those apology tours or anything like that. This is an exciting product line. Sorry, is that joke a
No,
little too close to the mark?
no, not saying a word. But
Yeah, it's not an apology tour. We're not looking for a mea culpa here. This is something that's new and exciting and fun to talk about.
Yeah.
That doesn't really come with any
Those
doesn't come with any any baggage really, right?
those are always a
It's
lot
all
more
up from
fun.
here.
The
Yeah,
introduction tour is a lot more fun than the apology tour for sure.
totally different letter of the alphabet that word starts
Yeah,
with, but it's a much better word, I would say, all the way
absolutely,
around, all the way
absolutely.
around.
So what are you expecting to see? So I know you're going out to CES. You're I mean overly excited. Yeah, I can tell you're just overflowing with
I'm
emotion.
doing
That
my
you're gonna be.
laundry right now
Yeah,
downstairs,
there you
right? Packing my
go.
bags. It's
what
exciting.
what are you looking to see there? What are you excited for specifically? You got any?
I thought again. I've been looking at the attendees, and we've got some vendor partners that are going to be there. There is going to be more of a concise and consolidated kind of custom install focused area of the show this year. Again, they kind of dabble in it year in and year out. You might have been party to some of that in your previous years at Savant. I'm not sure. I know they certainly tried to make a presence at CES one year that I can remember, and I don't remember exactly how well that went down or what the ROI was on that. But for some of our companies, like in specific like Ergo and maybe even Sonance, they're they're out there looking to grab headlines in a lane that just doesn't get a lot of coverage. So they'll get those things. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of our what our vendor partners have cooked up. But on the grander scale, I want to see what's going on with the new wave of Chinese displays that's coming into the market. I think it's the most relevant
Mm-hmm.
thing that's happening in the AV space
Sure.
as the average sale price for TVs continues to decline. Like, is this something I need to look at? Are these things that we need to worry about? What are the holes that we can poke in any of these products if it's on a competition basis with our current lines,
Sure.
and see what kind of trends that they are focusing on. If you look at what's happening with Chinese cars, for example, there's a level of fit and finish and detail and whimsy and you name it that go along with Chinese domestic vehicles
Mm-hmm.
specifically that it's not even a consideration in North America. Well, some of that is trickled into some of the functionality of the displays,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's being able to post on social media, the way you orient the TV,
Sure.
frame, you name it, lifestyle type of solution. So I want to see kind of what their take is on their audience, right? Whether whether or not they're using it to you know scan into people's lives or not, I guess is maybe up for debate,
Yeah.
depending
Don't get
on
too
the
close.
source.
Right.
Yeah, oh no, they're going to have a lot of pictures of me because I'm definitely going to be looking at them. But yeah, no,
Certainly.
the TCLs and the high senses and the you name it, they're making huge advancements. They have their own factories for the raw materials to build panels with, so that means that again, there's going to be more and more supply out there for this technology, and I think it's something that we need to be at least aware of, kind of where the benchmark is for those guys, so we know kind of what to ask for, or what to be pointing to show value to our partners and to our dealers.
It's a good thing to have on a radar. Just knowing where these guys are coming from. Could you imagine? And maybe this is a chilling thought here, but you go through there and you go down a hall, and the new thing from all these Chinese manufacturers is TVs that you mount vertically, so they're all 9 by 16. So for your
You're
people
too
who are
late,
addicted.
dude. That was like 5 years
But
ago.
imagine the ecosystem that they would could build
Oh
around this thing,
yeah.
right? Like you've got all these folks that are just scrolling Instagram and scrolling TikTok and looking at vertical videos and that kind of thing. And now, 5 years down the road, everything is vertical on the
I
TVs up at the, oh God,
that was all
kill me.
concept stuff when I was there in 2020. Like
Oof.
I was at CES right before the pandemic, right? So I went that year, and it was the rotating TV. Hey, it's on an easel in my
Oof.
bedroom, and then I want to turn it up for my social media posts so I can do my TikTok dance and all that good stuff in it. Nothing terrible could ever come out of having a
No.
network connected camera
In your
device
living room at
in
all
your bedroom
times.
at all
Right.
times
Yeah.
because you want a
Oof.
TikTok dance in front of it. Privacy concerns aside, it's very clear that there's a lot of people that are thinking in that vein, right? And I think some of the, shall we say, specialness of what we do in the CI industry has maybe been a little bit diluted by just by the virtue of the fact that the broader market pressures are shifting what displays are, shifting or what displays do. So again, for me, it's really more of an education on kind of the macro view of the electronics industry as a whole. And then I try internally in my own brain to collimate like, okay, so here's my little weird squiggly silo. If you were to map out the pyramid of the KISS pyramid of electronics,
Right.
the passage through it that is custom install is a very windy, weird one. So I'd like to try to have as much of a, I don't know, perspective on that direction as possible.
Yeah, and there is, just because this thing is so big and it's all encompassing and everything else. I mean, there are going to be some major players. We're probably going to see whatever Macintosh rolled out now that they're owned by Bose. Like maybe there's a little bit of thing there, right?
Yeah, I'm tired of walking already, bro, and I haven't even gotten there. Like I'm sitting down now and I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that the show has grown so significantly now from the convention center. There's so much of the show that's in the hotel space or in the Sands Convention Center or in the Sphere or whatever they're doing, right? So I mean, yeah, I'm already wiped out. And I haven't even
Better
taken
you
a
than me,
step yet.
bro. Take lots of
Yeah,
pictures.
yeah. Well, I'm like I said, I'm going to try and shoot some video. I'm going to try and get some content, maybe take some impressions of some of the things I see. I know from some of my social media feeds that we have some friends from our vendor partners that are already on their way to Vegas or set up in Vegas, or we're here in Vegas. Certainly Sony has a big booth there. I wouldn't assume that it's going to be chock full of TVs or cameras or maybe some of the like as they've had in the past. I think it's going to be more of a an IP related
Sure.
event for Sony because frankly I think that's where the bulk of their business is focused.
Mm-hmm.
There's no better showcase than CES to make announcements about new technology or new electronics, but they always have a black box somewhere. They've got a little show up their sleeve. So I'm going to see what I can do to ingratiate myself or sign an NDA to see some cool toys, if at all possible.
Just find the right person to sweet talk for. I need some new lenses. So
Oh
hey,
man,
I'm always looking for
narcissist.
freebies.
It's always
baby.
about me.
Absolutely.
I get it. I'm not mad at you. I respect it about
hey.
you. One of the things I was thinking about too is like some of the devices that I'll see, like whatever that is, if it's an audio device, if it's a handset, if it's a robot, it kind of calls to mind. I'm going to hold it up here because that works really well on an audio podcast.
There you go.
When you have visual aids, but things like the Theater U from Sony, which is an augmented listening device that Sony's been touting. We've been talking about, but I've actually been playing with this one here over the holiday breaks. Fantastic update for the gamers in your household, I have to say, because not only does it give the gamer the effect of surround sound, near field, it actually has a little bit of tactile response, a little bit of vibration and what have you, but the gamer can have it at a, shall we say, fairly obscene volume level without really disturbing anybody else in the house or them even realizing that you might be in a room with a door closed playing video games and not spending time with them. So
man, what a cool thing that I've been asking for a sample for the greater part of a year.
I think we could probably make that happen for you, Chris. But
you too. All right.
Yeah,
I'll add your name to the list of people who
it's a
said
company line. I think you've heard it before, but in reality, I'll send you this one if you want to play around with it. But honestly, what a cool little gadget, what a cool accessory to be able to add to just a simple little system. You can make phone calls on it if you want to, if you wanted to use it like a Bluetooth headset or something like that, you can do that absolutely. But to be paired to the TV, to give you a better audio experience on a personal level, but also to be a little bit kinder to people, maybe if you've got a shared space, a shared smaller space, and specifically, what a cool little gadget. So I think, thinking along those lines, I'm looking forward to seeing what somebody else has in mind for, additional listening devices or augmented listening or assisted listening, like however you want to skin the cat here. That's the
That's
kind of thing that
the
I'm really looking for at CES.
that's the Theater U. That's the
Theater
H1.
U,
Yeah. Okay.
correct. Yeah,
Sweet.
Bluetooth, a little surround sound action. If you've got guys running up behind you, you can kind of hear them coming from one side. I was playing this silly tank game over the holiday season, and Santa Claus and his sleigh would fly over the tanks before the game, and honestly, you could hear the bells like
That's
chiming
cool.
like
That is
around
cool.
you, and I was like, okay, you actually made the panning audio work on something that's about as wide as my head. That's pretty
That's
cool.
super cool, man. Super cool.
So yeah,
Nice.
I think cool little accessory. So yeah, I mean, I think what am I looking for? I'm going to the Super Bowl, right? I'm gonna see what I see when I get there. I'm gonna have some tacos. I think that's kind of like my Vegas staple. Always gonna go and find some good local Vegas tacos. Try to maybe schmooze somebody for a buffet meal or who
There you
knows.
go.
Like I've got a couple of friends over there. I might
Succulent
run into
Chinese
some.
meal you could have.
A succulent Chinese meal. That's what I was actually should be going for over on Spring Mountain Road.
They
Uh,
that line came up where my wife and I are tracking our way through what we do in the shadows, and it was a total throwaway line that they threw in there, and my
or
wife
he
was like,
he
What
like
does that even
drops
mean?"
down behind the buffet.
Yeah, like he just says it, oh, perhaps a succulent Chinese meal, and my wife was like, "Why is that so funny to you?" I was like, had to show her the video
Oh
and the
yeah,
whole thing. So yeah,
this is
fantastic.
democracy
The
manifest. Yeah.
best. Oh, that guy is just the best.
Yeah, I don't even know what the guy's name is. All I know is he
Nope.
was arrested in Australia on suspicion of like credit card fraud or something like that. So they they pinch him at a Chinese restaurant,
What is my
and
crime?
yeah, what's my crime? Eating a Chinese meal?
Succulent Chinese meal. Anyway, so
Oh
yeah,
wow, two old guys talk about memes.
it's been a long Christmas break, buddy.
Yeah, right. The timing of it is definitely crazy. I think like for me, it's been kind of enjoyable because frankly, I don't get a lot of time off. I didn't take a lot of time off this year, so it was nice to get put in a day or two and get a couple days off, or and having that Christmas week off was certainly a godsend for me personally. But yeah, post New Year's, I was ready to kind of get back to it on Saturday.
Yeah, yeah,
So those extra 2 days were a little, maybe more than I needed at this point. I feel like it's Thursday or something, but what can you do?
yeah. Well, that's I mean, what else we want to go over here? I mean, CES that's going to be the big headline. You're
Yeah,
gonna
it's going to be the big headline, I
give us
think,
the
for
heads
the
up.
week. We talked about the Theater U. We talked about some cool promos, I think. We just found out this morning, confirmed, Sony's going to continue on with the promos for projector and for AVR. You can stack those things together if you're selling them both into the same system. So good to hear that some of our partners out there had a really solid December.
Nice.
That was also good news to hear this morning. So thank you to all of our dealers out there. Thank you for all the Christmas shoppers out there. But I think by and large we had a pretty solid end of the year because we have some majors in our back pocket, which is nice. So always good to hear things like that.
Good stuff.
So yeah, if you're looking to put a projector on display or you've got a deal for a customer, let us know. They've got a trade-in deal that they're offering for a certain discount, and then if you want to stack in an ES receiver to go with the projector deal, you can do a full-on upgrade for a client and kind of take some of the gear out of their house and use that as, shall we say, a trade-in allowance
There you go.
material to improve your profitability and get another system out the door, but also get your clients upgraded. I think it's awesome. I was worried that was going to end at the end of the fiscal year or the end of the calendar year, excuse me, for Sony. But I heard this morning that's going to run at least through the end of March. So good news
Outstanding.
there's some runway there for guys that are looking to put together a projection system for a client,
Oh, that's great.
demos and all that good stuff for direct dealers. So you want to know more about that, hit up Oliver Marketing, hit me up wherever, You can get me, hit up Gerald, and we'll get you the details on how to take advantage of that.
Yeah, and display related, but not necessarily Sony related. We're standing up a couple of webinars for TruVision. We're going to announce those guys as new partners, even though we've been partnering with them for a while. There's some webinars coming up to get all your questions answered. Get on board with these guys. They are just awesome, large format COB, CLB LED displays and
Outdoor.
yeah,
It's really
outdoor,
cool.
indoor. That's outdoor makes them unique for sure. And yeah, stay tuned. We'll let you know when those webinars are coming up. They're coming up at the end of the month, but specifics and dates and times and all that stuff will be forthcoming as we stand it up.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, I mean, as we go out to Lightapalooza in January, I think there's an opportunity for us to meet those guys. So hopefully,
Yeah,
we can get in there and see what they've got to offer and what maybe there's some hay we can make while the sun is shining down there on the content side to be able to share with everybody in our audience.
there you go. And yeah, Lightapalooza coming up. So if you're going to be out there, come and say hi. We'll be there as well. And
Absolutely.
we running around trying to film some content and get some good stuff. So we'd love to talk to you. And yeah, that's it. That's it for me, man. That's all I got.
Yeah, we're kind of tapped out, huh? It's like the beginning of the year's a bunch of fanfare, but we kind of ran out of gas at the end of last year, right? But
Open
we
your
want to
email
get
this
some
morning, and it's just hundreds upon hundreds of emails that need
of everybody
something.
digging out at the same time, going, "Oh no,
Absolutely.
I didn't think about that.
Oh,
Oh crap,
I couldn't get a hold of anybody for the last 2 weeks because everybody's been on vacation. Yep,
I missed that
that's
deadline."
coming back.
Luckily, that didn't happen to me because I was obsessively looking at my emails throughout the Christmas break, which is exactly what I told myself I would not do.
There you go.
But that's kind of how that works anyway. So.
All right. Well, again, for Chris and Jason, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody. It was maybe a little bumpy ride on the first episode of 2025, but I think we're going to get better from here. Please hit us up on the social medias. Hit us up on Instagram at inside_integration. Hit us up on the YouTube channel under the same name, Inside Integration. We got, leave us messages, leave us contents. Tell us how much we are great. Tell us how much you would like to see things improved. Whatever it is, we love the feedback. We love the interaction. We appreciate you guys. Take care, everybody. Welcome to 2025.